Seahawks Today coming up in just a few moments from right now. But before we do, we want to make sure that you share today's video. And if you do, we'll give you a shout-out next week here on Seahawks Today. Click share, select the Twitter icon, tag me at Tyler Jones Live. Use that hashtag Seahawks and click tweet so you can share what we're doing each and every day here on Seahawks Today to all your fellow Seahawk fans. Welcome into Seahawks Today, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Appreciate you joining us. Today's show is presented by Aura, the all-in-one digital safety company. We'll tell you more about what they do coming up later on in the program. You can start your free 14-day trial now at aura.com/chatsports. Today, we have a news and rumors edition of Seahawks Today. We'll be talking about Jimmy Garoppolo, as well as Kenneth Walker III and Noah Fant. And we will get started with Jimmy G. Now, Jimmy Garoppolo, we've talked about him a lot on this channel over the last several weeks, and it has been my position that the Seahawks do not need to trade for Jimmy Garoppolo whatsoever, under any circumstance. Now, what we've heard now from a 49ers insider that covers the team, that would be Matt Maiocco, who works with NBC Sports Bay Area. He's reporting that the 49ers will not be trading Garoppolo to the Seahawks. He says, I don't think the Seahawks would trade for him. In fact, at this point in the offseason, I have a really difficult time trying to figure out what team would trade for him and trade for that $24.2 million salary he's scheduled to make. Where I think the Seahawks come into play would be if the 49ers decide there's not going to be a trade that lines up and that they can't afford to keep Garoppolo on the roster at his salary with Trey Lance ready to take over as the starter. Maybe Garoppolo even says, been a good teammate here, cut me free now, and let me go find a place before we get too deep into training camp. If the 49ers decide to release Garoppolo, then I could definitely see Seattle come into play. I could see Seattle, Cleveland, and probably the Houston Texans as the three teams. As we've stated many times before on this program, it makes absolutely no sense for the Seahawks to trade for Jimmy Garoppolo. With the limitations that the Seahawks have when it comes to the salary cap, with how much Jimmy Garoppolo would cost, and then having to give up draft capital and also making your division rival better if you were to trade for him, none of that just adds up. So look, if Jimmy G's a free agent, maybe we can talk about that down the road. Possibly if he wants to play on a one-year deal for $10, $11, $12 million, we can have that discussion. But the idea of trading Jimmy Garoppolo and bringing him to the Seahawks just makes no sense at all whatsoever. So now, here's your chance to weigh in. I'm going to make this easy for you, though. Type in for no, type H in for hell no if the Seahawks should trade for Jimmy Garoppolo. This is our pinned comment today, and so you're about to get an ad break. Take advantage of it. While the ad's playing, let your voices be heard. I know that you don't want to see the Seahawks trade for Jimmy G, so tell me loud and clearly that you don't want to see this happen. In for no, H in for hell no. Let's talk about Kenneth Walker III now, the Seahawks second-round selection. He's been named by The Athletic as a fantasy breakout candidate. I'm sure you're already getting ready for your fantasy drafts over the next several weeks, and he's a name to watch, according to Mike Duggar. Walker might end up as the most productive running back on Seattle's roster when it's all said and done. The rookie second-round pick was a big play waiting to happen at Michigan State, leading the nation last fall with over 1,000 yards after contact. The 41st pick in the draft is already the de facto running back two behind Rashad Penny because of Chris Carson's neck injury. Because Penny has an extensive injury history, it's expected Walker will earn some starts and make the most of those opportunities in Seattle's run-first offense. We'll show you some of Walker's numbers from his days at Michigan State in one moment, but before we do, today's show is presented by Aura, the all-in-one digital safety company providing financial fraud protection, identity theft protection, online and device security, and family plans to protect you and your loved ones. Up to 5 people, whether you're shopping or banking, working online, more safely and privately, Aura is the place to do it. They'll cover you when it comes to your credit cards or when it comes to your online shopping in any way, shape, or form. You know, a few years ago, I was at one of the big box stores. My card was compromised, and I didn't find out till months after the fact when they sent me a new card. If I would have had Aura, would have found out right away. So don't be a sucker. Sign up for Aura right now. See if you like it. Try it out for free. 14 days at aura.com/chatsports. That's aura.com/chatsports. I got to tell you, Kenneth Walker III, or as I like to call him, KW3, he's going to be awesome. He really is. He's got a lot of potential. And you look at his numbers, what he was able to do at Michigan State was just terrific. He was great last year with 1,600 yards and a lot of touchdowns over that stretch there at Michigan State, of piling up 35 for his whole career there, and was so explosive with both the not only power but speed to really get it done. I think that the Seahawks, you look at what they have with Rashad Penny and Kenneth Walker III together, this is going to be a really dynamic 1-2 punch. Yes, it looks like they won't have Chris Carson, that he's not fully cleared from that neck injury, but I think the running game for the Seahawks is going to be just fine. Fantasy owners, I'm telling you, Kenneth Walker III could be a sneaky good find. If you're looking to find some value in your fantasy draft, I absolutely agree. Kenneth Walker could be that guy for you. So fantasy owners, would you draft Kenneth Walker III on your fantasy team? Let me know. Type D for draft, type P for pass. And in just a moment, we'll be talking about Noah Fant, and we'll have all the Seahawks news, rumors, trades, free agency, and more covered on this channel as we're counting you down to training camp, just a few more days away. And so you better have your notifications on so you never miss a moment of Seahawks Today and find out the latest Seahawks news and rumors here from Chat Sports. Sign up now. Get those notifications turned on. YouTube.com/Seahawks TV. So let's talk about Noah Fant now. How important is Fant to the Seahawks offense this season? You know, we spent a lot of time talking about DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, and we mentioned how good the running game is going to be with their 1-2 punch with Rashad Penny and Kenneth Walker III, but don't be sleeping on Noah Fant. According to Pro Football Focus's Brad Spielberger, he was the biggest addition of the entire offseason for the Seahawks. I happen to agree with that. Here's what Brad said. The Seahawks got an absolute haul from the Denver Broncos for quarterback Russell Wilson, perhaps most importantly acquiring 2 first-round and 2 second-round picks, but landing a young, emerging tight end, and Fant was a great addition for this offense. Trotting out 2 tight ends could force the defense to stay in a base look to account for the threat of a running play, especially now that Pete Carroll won the war against Wilson and will presumably run the ball a ton. Fant and Disley could then feast as pass catchers by creating mismatches through the air. And here's 2 things that I look at with Noah Fant. He's going to be the best friend for whoever is starting at quarterback for the Seahawks, because whether it's Drew Lock or Geno Smith or even somebody else for that matter, having a go-to tight end is the best gift that you could ask for, of trying to find those openings, especially since you have Disley there as well. You can't really double-team Noah Fant. So, to me, the offense has options for whoever's at quarterback. So, although there remains questions about this quarterback position for the Seahawks, and rightfully so, I think that you have a nice safety net here in Noah Fant. We haven't even seen the best out of Noah Fant yet. He's been solid through 3 years, but I think we're going to see him take a big jump and be a dependable option for this Seahawks offense here in 2022. How about you guys? Final question before we go today. If you think Noah Fant will have a big year in 2022? Type 87 in the comments. He's going to stay with that number that he wore in Denver, still wearing 87 in Seattle. If you think this is a big year for him, type 87 in the comments and let me know. As always, give me a follow on Twitter at Tyler Jones Live. Love hearing from you guys. The Summer of Jones continuing this week in Phoenix. I'll have updates there, and we'll see you next time here on Seahawks Today.